On the phone, we probably rapped like an hour, 2 hours back and forth, just spitting the stuff that we wrote.
Yeah.
And then I was in class with this cat named Ralph, and he's like family to Taylor J.
Okay.
You know, so he was like, I got a little cousin that could spit. And he hadn't, I don't think he got the Central yet. Or maybe he was on his way. But
you see, I'm Southside reppin', Bigfoot steppin'. Zone 3 section is God flow perfection. Hating on the church like I ain't blessed they section. If we ain't talking money, I got a weak connection. That's on the hood. She said get a bag, so I get it, got it good. Don't complain about my problems, I just put it in a wood. Seen a genie the other day, she said make it good. So I wish for good health, then I wish the look. It's chief, not lieutenant. Yeah, I'm back, been a minute.
Exactly.
I'd say 808s is probably the most transcendent, maybe the most transcendent album of all time. It
That-
literally changed everything.
hip hop,
Everything.
yeah.
Not even just hip hop. He changed everything.
Yeah,
That's when rappers started to sing.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
of them started.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, we can do this,
Yeah.
even if it sounds like shit.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
With the tune,
Yeah.
I dibble dabbled in that this time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
try to stay away from it, but you
Yeah.
know, I needed it.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
And nowadays you got the tools to make it work. So
Right.
it works. Okay, you ready?
Let's do
Another
it.
episode of Live on Lake Street. We got Cameron Mann in the building. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
What's up? What's up?
So let's get into it, man. So you kind of got a bit of a rich history here in Minnesota hip hop
I do.
that people probably don't know about.
The greatest never known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about. I want to talk about specifically. So like your early beginnings. You had a group with the now famous Taylor J, who was back then Trouble.
Right.
And then another artist that I'm not familiar with,
Flaw.
Flaw.
He's a real estate agent now, Diamond. If
Okay.
you're looking for a house, holla at Diamond.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that. These were high school days?
Yeah, well, I mean, we got to go back a little further than that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So my cousin Ramshot, he was a part of Minnesota Threat.
Okay.
And that was a hip-hop group in the 90s, like gangster rap,
Yep.
you know? And he did a song called Stay Up Loke for my brother who passed away, who was
Okay.
murdered in 95.
Okay.
And the first time I heard him on a record, it just blew my mind because he was my cousin, and I'm hearing him like I could this was on a tape, so I
Yep.
could play a tape and hear his voice. And he was talking about my brother, and I thought that was so cool. I wanted to be able to write about him myself.
Yeah.
So I used to listen to his rhymes and try to change up the words to fit me, like if it was coming from me.
Yep.
And that's kind of really where it started. And then when I turned 13, that's when I wrote my first rhyme.
Okay.
And I hit him up on the phone and I told him I could rap, or at least I wrote a rap. And he thought I was good, you know what I'm saying? So he kind of really took me in and started to teach me like song structure, how to count bars. He took me to the studio.
Okay.
And so I laid my first record down when I was 14, you know, and it was with him. And so then when I got to high school, I was already rapping, but wasn't really too many people that was my age that had actually recorded in the studio.
You went to Central, right?
I went to Central.
Okay.
So 2004, I mean, even back then, like you only rapped if you could really rap. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, I got this idea and I can make a song, and now you say you're a rapper. But like back then, it was like you had to actually have originality, be authentic. You know what I'm saying? You had to have lyricism.
Yep.
So I'm spitting, and I meet this guy Diamond, who goes by Flaw at the time, and he can rap.
Okay.
So the first time we talked on the phone, we probably rapped like an hour, 2 hours back and forth, just spitting the stuff that we wrote.
Yeah.
And then I was in class with this cat named Ralph, and he's like family to Taylor J.
Okay.
You know, so he was like, I got a little cousin that could spit. And I don't think he got the Central yet. Or maybe he was on his way. But whatever it was, he put him on the phone.
Okay.
And at this time, me and Diamond, or Flaw, we all rapping together. We hear Taylor spit, and I'm mesmerized by his delivery. Now, he's 14 at this time.
Yep.
So, he's still young, but like his delivery to me was like grown man like level.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, his delivery was better than mine. You know what I'm saying? At his age at that time, that was my weakest trait, was my delivery at that time. My lyrics were my best trait. But anywho,
I feel like that's the one part of rapping that isn't just always natural.
Yeah.
That's something you can build, you can create, you can learn.
100%.
You can learn delivery.
Yeah.
All that other shit, you kind of have to have it.
Right.
Yeah.
He had it naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, his delivery was his strongest trait. And lyricism, he's just a kid, so his lyricism was growing, but he had a solid foundation.
Yeah.
So between me, him, and Flaw, we are writing raps together every day after school, and we would perform at local talent shows. And back then they had a bunch of showcases, you know what I'm saying, for hip hop artists. And we were the youngest group, but we would be performing with all the grown dudes.
Where were you performing at that time?
Music Profile Center. I want to say, I feel like Minnesota Music Cafe. I mean, there was all types of spots. The Red Sea.
Yep.
I mean, we were performing, and it was cats like, I mean, it's been such a long time, but like Street Kings were like really big at that time.
Yep.
We had, man, I don't even know, man. There was a bunch of people, you know what I'm saying? But I just remember them because they were another group, you know what I mean? But anywho, we were making music together for about three years. And in that time, we probably recorded like 30 to 40 songs. We actually came out with an album called Product of the Streets.
Wow.
And Humble Child made a couple of tracks on that record.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Is it still out there?
Well, we only had 100 copies pressed. I have a copy.
Oh, yeah, because this was before streaming.
This was before streaming.
Yeah, so you didn't have that shit there then.
That it was such a big deal, bro, to like have an album and you're in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then a friend of mine's, her sister used to date Just Blaze.
Okay.
And so, you know, we're trying to network and make something happen. Yep. So I asked her, I was like, can you connect me with somebody like that he knows, anybody, ideally like Jay-Z?
Yeah.
That didn't happen, but he did give me a contact to an A&R at Def Jam.
Okay.
Who worked for like the reggaeton part of Rockefeller.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So Rock La Familia. So I'm sending my beats to him, and I forgot to mention one thing. Trelly Mo, who was a part of Zulu Zulu,
Yep.
he made majority of our beats on our album.
Wow.
Yeah. He was, shout out to Trelly Mo.
So y'all were really sticking and moving.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Wow.
You know, and so, I mean, back then you couldn't tell us that we weren't going to make it.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we send the music to the A&R at Def Jam, and he's like, you guys can flow, but you cuss too much. You know what I'm saying? And we were kids, you know what I'm saying? But we were rapping hardcore because we had like the Diplomats, Locks. That was our influence.
Yep.
Mobb Deep, all them cats.
Yep.
So
how could they not be?
Right. So basically, we continue to write, and you know, our penmanship gets better and better and better. And then as I got older, because at that time I was going by Baby Beretta, I started thinking. I know.
Oh shit.
I know, it's crazy. So Baby Beretta to me, just so you know, like it was supposed to be like related to my lyrics, right? So my lyrics would hit you hard like a bullet.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I was young, but I was spitting like a grown man. So that's where Baby Beretta came from. But as I got older, I'm like, that's just not going to be marketable. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, it might be today.
It might be today, but I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I'm like, I got to change it. So then I changed it to Young Capo.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm the boss of rap, right?
Yeah.
And this is towards the tail end of the music group. So as I change my name, I'm changing like kind of what I want to rap about.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Walter's still spitting, or Taylor J spitting how he spits.
Yep.
Flaw spitting how he spits. So then I break off and I do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So at that particular point, that's when I connected with Ashley.
Yep.
We started to date. She was in college at the time.
Okay.
Ashley DeBose, and she wasn't really singing like that.
How old were you at the time?
18.
Okay.
Yeah, 18. Funny story real quick, though. I got to go back. So the last year of high school,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Me and Flaw, we went to Studio 4 for
Okay.
a year.
Okay.
We spent 3 years at Central. So we came back to do a talent show at Central, and Ashley was like a part of this broadcasting class. And the girl that brought us in, she introduced me to Ashley, and she's like, here's Ashley, she can sing or whatever. And at that time, I'm just like, okay. You know, like I wasn't thinking anything of it because a lot of people say they can sing, but they really can't.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So to make a long story short, we end up going to the show, and me and Flaw are sitting in the back of the auditorium at Central, and Ashley's on the stage with, I think, Monty Strings. And
Shout out to Monty.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the history's deep.
Yeah.
And she sings Alicia Keys' I Keep On Falling.
Wow.
And, you know, I'm not going to even try to sing it, but the first line, I Keep On Falling,
Yep.
I look at Flaw, and I'm like, that's going to be my girl one day.
Oh, shit. You knew.
I knew. I was in a relationship at that time, but I could feel like it was about to end,
Yeah.
and I knew like she was gonna be the one. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, yeah.
So how soon after that did you guys link up?
So we went on a date, like I want to say maybe 3 months later.
Okay.
I asked to take her out on a date, and then after the date, she was like, "You're cool and everything, but you know, I'm not really looking at you in that way." You know.
Aw.
Yeah. She hit me with the
She's trying to slide you in the friend zone.
facts, and so I was like, "That's cool. In my mind, I'm just like, you just didn't notice it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I told her, I said, well, you know, I do a lot in the city at this time, because I'm like, if I know any producers or anybody that is looking for a singer, I'll make sure to mention your name. And so then I'm at the studio with Monty Strings, I believe. I think it's Monty Strings, and I think it was DJ Drummer Boy.
Okay.
And we had McNally Smith.
Yep.
And I'm recording a song, and I walk out the studio, and I run into a producer named Ben Fang.
Okay.
Ben Fang is like, he's like on Pharrell's level. He just don't have the notoriety, right? And so Ben Fang, we went to elementary school together. You know what I'm saying? So now he lives in Chicago, and he's doing his thing. Like, look him up, Ben Fang. You know what I'm saying, on Instagram. He's a dope producer. I ended up running into him, and we hadn't seen each other since the 6th grade. So we exchanged phone numbers, and at that time, like I want to say 2 days later, Ashley comes back in town from college on spring break. So she hits me up, and she's like, you know, what are you doing? Mind you, she said she didn't want to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, I'm about to go to the studio with this producer. You know what I'm saying? You should pull up. So we ended up recording a song called Pillow Rain. And from that point on, it was on.
So then y'all locked it in.
We were locked in. She was going to school at Gustavus. I was driving an hour and 20 minutes back and forth to see her. That was my girl.
And now y'all are engaged.
And now we're engaged.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I mean, there was a gap in between that, man.
I know.
But
I know.
yeah. I mean, God is good. You know what I'm saying? And I think the biggest thing at that time was we were so young. You know what I'm saying? We just needed to grow up. You know,
and you both had big aspirations.
Yeah.
In the music business, which sometimes being locked down might not be the greatest thing.
Sometimes. But then also sometimes, I mean, you do need like a ride or somebody to keep you grounded.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that it just depends, you know?
I guess that's true. It depends on who you are.
If you're focused, because you know now, I mean, the industry is shitty, you know what I'm saying? Pardon my language, you know what I mean? So for me, it's better to have somebody who's going to be in your corner that got your best interest at heart, always, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now that we're together at this time, we're doing music more because she's seeing me do it, and this is really all I do besides working at Finish Line. That was my job, you know, as a sneakerhead, and we're doing shows at Gustavus, at Mankato
I could
State.
get a discount?
I don't work there no more.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
damn. You don't still get the discount?
I don't get no discounts,
Damn.
man. But you know what, though? I told myself, I said, I'm going to make enough money where I don't need a discount. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So that's been great. The move, man. But I'm trying to do as much as I can. So when I go to Mankato State to perform, I meet Wally Agbula. And Wally's like a big-time photographer. But at this time, he wasn't. You know, and he done shot for everybody. Yeah. I mean, not just musicians. He done shot for athletes, Tom Brady, Gronk, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, across the world. So he tells me, he's like, yo, Cam, I want to be the first person to shoot you. So I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Because at that time, like, I want to say 23, what is it, 2320?
1323?
1320. They had the city on lock with doing all the photographers. Yeah. Like, if you didn't get your pictures done by them, it was no good.
Yeah, that's the GOAT.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But Wally was on his way up, you know what I'm saying? So now I feel like they neck to neck. But long story short, he ends up shooting me, man, and doing it for the low, man. And I appreciate you, Wally, for that. And that kind of set the tone for, like, now we're, like, really going full-fledged into the music. And then I link up with Mike Dreams, which at that time was Young Son.
Yep.
Ronnie B put me on to him, and he reminded me of Biggie. You know what I'm saying? He had a nice flow, and he didn't curse in his rhymes.
Yeah.
So we're doing this little local tour, you know. Well, he had an idea to do, like, a tour throughout the city. I think it was called, like, Music the Dream Tour or something like that.
Okay.
And we were doing shows at a little venue at Burnsville, 7th Street Entry.
Yep.
And Fine Line Music Cafe.
Yep.
And I feel like now, I know I'm talking a lot, but it's a lot to say.
It's your interview. It's your world, bro.
I
Keep talking. Go
appreciate
ahead.
it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot. I feel like now, if we were doing that now, it would have been a real game changer because he was ahead of his time in thinking, you know, like that. We were doing the shows, but we didn't have nobody in. We didn't have the support of the city at that point. You know what I'm saying? My mom would show up, you know, a couple people. I remember one of the bartenders at Fine Line Music Cafe was like, "You guys are too good, man, to be, you know, it needs to be out there." You know what I'm saying? He like showed major love. So I say that to say, you know, when you perform in front of nobody and you perform like you're performing in front of everybody, it's that energy, you know what I'm saying, that like you carry on and you remember those days. And everybody who's made it, they'll tell you like, yeah, I did shows and it was nobody but my sister or my brother or a friend, you know, support me.
Every artist has that same story.
100%.
Nobody comes on the stage performing for 50,000 right off the bat.
No. I think it's probably better that you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's true. You gotta, because it keeps that humility about you. And if you step right in on the stage like that big, you immediately think you're the greatest thing ever. So did you take a long break from music?
Right. So I was just trying to get to that. So basically, me and Ashley ended up having a baby.
Yep.
And my biological father was never a part of my life.
Okay.
Like he didn't want anything to do with me ever, you know, and he never did. So my sister's dad raised me, so that's my pops. But when I found out that I was gonna have a baby, you know, I got this drive to just be the best dad that I could possibly be. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And my thing was to be able to provide. You know what I'm saying? And so at that time, you know, I loved music, but it wasn't paying the bills. You know, to be honest. And I just couldn't be a person that had to lean on somebody to get money to buy diapers or food. I just couldn't be that dude. So, you know, I had to devote, you know, my time into trying to make a living. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that really took things to the back burner. Ashley, because we broke up shortly after our baby was born, she was finishing up school. You know what I'm saying? So her thing was like, I'm going to get this degree because I had pretty much a full ride. And then I'll see about the music, you know what I'm saying? And so obviously we know her history. She's done well.
Yep.
But for me, you know, it had been really just making sure I could put food on the table, you know what I'm saying, to keep the roof over the head for my household. And I want to say I never stopped writing in between that time, but I didn't release any music until 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's when you dropped
Man of the Hour.
Man of the Hour.
Yep, and Man of the Hour, I was so excited, man, because I'm like, first off, it was just a major accomplishment. Yep. And I'm aware, like, of what Taylor J was doing at that time. Like, to go back, you know, we always brainstormed and talked about what our lives were going to be like, music-wise, and what we would do if we got, you know, signed. And I'm glad we didn't get signed back then because we were knuckleheads and, you know what I'm saying?
Probably weren't ready for it.
We weren't ready for it. We would have blown our money and probably an opportunity, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I seen him put out a couple of projects between that time frame, and I was proud of him. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I was like, I know I could do it. I need to really lock in. And then end of 2014, like December into February, I had all my tracks written and recorded them with Stephen Helvig, Helvig Productions, and we did Man of the Hour in like 2 months time.
Yeah.
I was super excited. 2015, if you can remember, music was a different thing.
It was.
Right?
For sure.
So for me, I'm still kind of locked in like 28. I mean, I was still buying CDs at 2015.
Yeah.
People weren't buying CDs at 2015 anymore.
Yeah, not too much.
They weren't buying CDs. They were streaming music, which I didn't quite understand at that point. Yep. And what else were they doing?
A lot of iPods.
A lot of iPods, and they weren't making albums. It was mixtapes.
A lot of mixtapes. Yeah, I mean, like the big dogs are making albums.
Right.
But for the most part, it was mixtapes.
Yeah. Yeah. So my thing was like, yo, I'm spending all this money to record my album, right? This is like my life. Yep. And I just couldn't give it away for free. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, my favorite artists, they never did that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was at. And so in that climate, I wasn't getting the support yet. And I didn't have any visuals. I think that if I would have had some visuals, it could have helped.
Yeah, do you still not have any visuals?
I'm working on them right now.
Okay.
But again, I'm independent, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, if you listen to Man of the Hour, like, it's all quality. And that's
it is quality.
You know, because I spent good cheese to make it that way. So when I do a music video, I want it to be at that same level, if not above it.
Who you trying to shoot with?
You know, I actually knows a couple of people, man. I'm so out of touch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was afraid you was gonna ask me that question because there's a lot of people I don't know.
We
But
got
if you
we got a lot of monsters here with cameras.
love,
A lot.
well then we'll have to exchange some information before I dip out. And anybody that's watching this video, this interview, if they like what they hear on the album, holla at me. You know what I'm saying?
They don't care what it sounds like.
Okay,
They just want your money.
got you.
I'm just playing.
Well,
I think actually that is one of the beautiful parts about our videographers here is I think a lot of like the high quality videographers,
yeah,
they do care.
got you.
They really care about the content of what you're shooting. They're not going to just shoot anything. So
Yeah.
So yeah, no, but there's a good amount of videographers to choose from here. But I did notice that you don't have any visuals, and I'm like,
no
I
visuals
wonder
yet.
why.
Yeah, we're definitely. I mean, I'm telling you, like, there's some stuff that's already being crafted in terms of like the timeline.
Yeah.
Where I would imagine by the summertime we're gonna be there.
Okay.
You know, I'll have at least 2. But my plan is to really do a video for every song on the album,
Yeah.
even the
So-
poetry.
And are you working on a project now?
Yeah, so I'm doing. This is my plan, right? So we did Man of the Hour already.
Yep.
And then Man of the Year is going to be released in 3 volumes.
Okay.
And Volume 1 came out December 31st of 2021.
Yep.
That's the album of the year, by the way.
Okay. Okay.
It is, man.
All right. Hey, pop your shit.
I'm telling you, it is. Like, the thing about it is that it has quality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The lyricism's there, originality.
Yeah.
And
It's personal.
it's personal. You know what I'm saying? And more so than anything, it's timeless.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no date to it. Like if you listen to it now, you feel the same way 10 years from now, you know?
Yeah.
So Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. Once we get all of the 3 volumes done of Man of the Year, we'll release it as a collector's item. And we've been shooting footage the whole time that we've been recording,
Okay.
right? So whoever buys the collector's item will get unreleased footage that will never go to a platform. It'll be yours to keep. You know what I'm saying?
A little documentary. personal
Exactly. Yeah.
documentary. Okay. That's dope. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like
NFT that shit.
I-
Whatever the fuck that means.
we was talking about. Well, that's a possibility. We'll just see how it goes. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? There's a lot of unknown to that.
I still have no idea what an NFT is
Me either.
at all.
Me either.
Nor do I know what a Bitcoin is.
I don't really understand the fake stuff. You know,
Right.
it's not real. I don't want to live in that world, to be honest with you.
I mean,
Kanye
I'm
West-
gonna live in the Bitcoin world because I feel like you have to be invested in it, but I don't understand it.
There's some people that aren't, you know, and they're doing just fine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge risk, and with that risk could be a huge reward.
Yeah.
You know, but Kanye just said something recently about NFTs. He was like, "I make real music for the real world." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I love that. You know, when I read that, I was like, I feel it, Kanye.
Greatest artist of all time,
Definitely one of them.
in my opinion.
100%. One of them.
Who's better?
Man, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, you know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson.
Phenomenal artist, but I think Kanye is the greatest artist.
I
of
don't
all
love
time.
everything that Kanye does. You know, now if you're talking about outside of just music,
I'm talking about artists, period, artistry across the
Okay.
board. I don't think anybody's ever had a bigger impact.
all right, well, I mean, yeah, if you're talking about not just including music,
Yeah.
fashion and stuff, then
Yeah.
yeah, I could give you that.
Fashion, influence,
I
everything.
could give you that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Kanye makes the whole world move
Yeah,
whenever he decides.
yeah.
I don't never see anybody else.
He
do it
hasn't
like
done
that.
anything wrong yet. You know what I'm saying?
Even when he does the wrong shit, though, it still makes the world move. Even when he put on that red hat,
it seems crazy, but I'm just saying, like, it's still working for him.
it's
You know what I'm
still
saying?
working. Yeah.
Yeah.
I boycotted him for all of 2 months when he put on that red hat, but then I was like, you know what? This is Kanye. And he's always been that.
Right, right.
This is not new. People think that, oh, he's changed. No. This has been Kanye from jump.
Funny story. So my very first job at McDonald's, I was 13 turning 14.
Okay.
Very first job. And I used to work the overnight shift.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't supposed to, but that's what they had me working. And I want to say like 2 weeks on the job, the day that I didn't work, Kanye had a show here in Minnesota. And he came to the drive-through. This is a real story. He came to the
What
drive.
year was this?
This was 2004.
Bro, it was at Target Center with Usher.
It might have been. I don't know. But I know he came through the drive-through, right?
Wow.
And it's like I want to say like maybe 2 o'clock or something like that. So they're not serving breakfast yet. And he's like, I want an egg McMuffin or whatever he asked for or whatever. And they're like, we're still serving dinner. And he was like, but I'm Kanye West. So he said that in 2004.
For sure he did.
So I say that to say the way he is the way he is. Like,
Hold on,
it's
you
not
were
an
there
act.
for this?
I wasn't there, but
Oh, this is not you didn't work. My bad.
my godmom was there. So my godmom told me this story. You know what I'm saying? So like even if you didn't believe it then, if you listen to him now,
Yeah.
you would believe that story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So
And
he
he would
thought-
do the same thing today.
Fact. So he thought just because he was Kanye West, he should get a breakfast sandwich, even if they weren't.
Did he?
No. I think they did compromise in some way. They didn't get him exactly what he wanted.
I'd have fired him up a breakfast sandwich for sure.
He wasn't Kanye West at that time.
To me, he was.
He was Kanye, but he wasn't Kanye,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, even in 04, Kanye was Kanye.
I don't even
to
think
me.
I don't think College Dropout had came out yet. I think it was on the cusp.
No, it was out.
No, at this time when he came here, I don't think it was out yet.
If it was 04, it was out.
It came out in 04, but do you remember when? I felt like it was at the end of the year. I mean, we could look it up, but
Did it come out in 04 or 03?
no, it definitely came out in 2004.
I know that he was on tour with Usher, the Usher Truth Tour, and he wasn't the main act for that tour. So
I'm about to tell you right now just because I got a quick
I want to say it was summer. I want to say it was like July.
Okay, College Dropout came out. Oh, yeah, it was out. February 10, 2004.
Okay, so it was brand new Kanye.
I was wrong.
Kanye was taking over the world at that time.
He was on his way,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, that's crazy.
So, okay, so just to kind of wrap up the timeline, right?
Yep.
So, Man of the Hour comes out. It doesn't do what I would have liked it to do.
Yep.
So I was discouraged, bro.
What happened? Do you know why? Was it the promotion? Was it maybe you just didn't understand the market at the time?
I'll take ownership of promotion, but I feel like people just didn't want lyricism, like the vast majority. And then remember when I told you I first was doing music, nobody was really doing music unless you did music.
Yeah.
We're saturated, right?
Yeah.
So I'm one of, 2,000, so I mean you have to really get through a bunch of stuff before you would find me. So I feel like that's what happened.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the bread to like push it like I'm doing it now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a tough thing to do, and it costs money for sure to build a career.
It does.
So okay, so you got the album out that dropped in December,
Yep.
and you're doing 2 more volumes,
Yep.
and then you're gonna create some kind of weird NFT with a Bitcoin.
Potentially.
You can only buy the NFT with Bitcoin.
Potentially.
That's what we're going with.
Well, I mean, I think that's the only way you can do it now, anyways.
That's
right?
the story we're gonna tell.
Gotcha.
You're selling the NFT, but you can only purchase it with Bitcoin.
But I do think cash is king, though. You know what I'm saying?
Cash is still king.
So I feel like if you can get it from me directly and we can cut the processing fees,
Yeah.
and people don't be in our business, that'd be the best way to do it.
That's true.
You know?
That's probably true. Okay, and then you're working on visuals.
I am working on visuals.
So I'm gonna give you some information, some people I think you should probably work with.
100%. 100%.
And how about like shows? Working on getting
Well,
on stages?
Yeah, so we were gonna do. I mean, we still are gonna do a show for anybody who's watching. We're still gonna do a show. Basically, what happened was I caught COVID. Well, I don't know exactly when I caught COVID, but I tested positive the day before my album release show.
Oh shit.
So we sold 130 pre-order copies.
Wow.
Before the album came out, I didn't even have a song out. So I really took a page from Nipsey Hussle's book.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I think it was Mailbox Money.
Yep.
Or no, what was it? With the red cover. Crenshaw.
Yep.
He sold it, and I think he sold it for $100 or something like that.
I think it was 1,000.
Okay.
No, you might be right. It was 100. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
So he sold
I
it
think
for.
Hove bought 10 copies or something like that.
Or he bought 1,000 copies.
Was it 1,000 copies?
Yep.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
All that shit. Yeah.
So, or no, he bought 100 copies.
100 copies, 10,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I think he
$10,000.
only made 1,000 copies. That's what
right.
it was.
You're right.
So I took a page from his book. So my actual art, the album right here is limited. You know what I'm saying? I only have X amount of copies. And so when they're gone, they're gone. I'm not making any more. And I label every single copy I sold. So if you bought one, right, well, I'm giving this one to you.
Okay.
It'd be this, you know what I'm saying? This would be 131.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so, and there's a whole record of it, you know what I'm saying, in terms of how many people have purchased it. But I only say that to say the support that I got was overwhelming, bro.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I was humbled by it because I just reached out to people directly and told them what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
And like I want to say 95% of the people were like, yeah, I rock with it.
That's guerrilla marketing. It's rare. Doesn't exist very much these days.
It doesn't.
But that's great.
Yeah.
That's great that you can do that.
Yeah.
So my last question for you, I don't know if you can do it or not,
What's up?
but considering you're from St. Paul, right?
I'm from South Minneapolis.
You're from South Side.
Yeah, I've been living
Okay.
here since 2000.
I want a South Minneapolis, Mount Rushmore artist.
I can't do that. I can only do Minnesota.
Okay, fine. Fair enough.
Right. So I thought about this before I got here.
Yep.
And what I was thinking about was influence, right?
Yep.
And like who influenced the generation to follow.
Yep.
So for me, I feel like you gotta pick. I mean, David T.C. Ellis, who like founded Studio 4. He's got his hands on a bunch of artists in terms of like giving them opportunities and looks.
Yep.
So he's got to be up there. And then, I mean, obviously you got to put Prince there because Prince is giving a lot of people opportunities too.
Yep.
And then Lizzo.
Okay. She's not from here, but we'll let it slide.
She originated from here. You know what I'm saying? It matters. She didn't break in Detroit. She broke here.
She broke here, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm putting her here.
Okay.
And then I got to put my lady there, man, Ashley DuBose.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. She doesn't get the credit she probably should.
Let me tell you, Ashley gives a lot of musicians opportunities, and if she can't do a gig, she's always referring a singer that she knows to love every chance that she gets. So I got to put her up there.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm not even mad at that at all. And
Yeah.
that's a solid Rushmore. I
Yeah.
like that Rushmore. It's a whole different perspective.
It is.
So last thing, look into the camera. Final thoughts, closing
Yep.
thoughts, anything you want to tell
Listen,
people.
man of the year. Oh, can I say one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
Before this, the album Man of the Year Volume 1 is no cursing.
I noticed.
You know what I'm saying? So one of the things that I did want to point out to you real quickly, the reason why I was having a hard time with like rappers is that there's a lot of negativity going on in terms of the music. A lot of violence. We've seen a lot of rappers die. We've seen a lot of rappers overdose.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a father, and so for me, my influence means everything to me, especially when I'm talking about the kids.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just challenging kids, anybody who wants to do music, just to be positive with their music and their message. And the reason for that is because you don't understand that your words have power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you say something about killing somebody and then you find yourself in prison. That ain't no place that anybody really wants to be.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? So I just want to make sure that I'm doing my part to bring good energy and good vibes, you know what I'm saying, to this community. But in addition to just the world, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to look to me, you're going to get something positive, and that means something to me. But in terms of the album, Man of the Year Volume 1, it's the album of the year, respectfully. You can get a direct copy from me. You can stream it if you don't want to buy it. But if you buy it, it goes a long way in terms of helping build my brand and put music out and that message I was talking about, pushing it. And you can follow me on Instagram at Cam Saw He Conquered 3. And I believe Twitter is Cam Saw He Conquered.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yep. Cam Saw He Conquered. I don't really tweet like that, but follow me on Instagram.
For sure.
Let's
sure.
get it.
I appreciate your time, man. This was a good conversation.
I appreciate
and
you.
I hope the NFT shit might work out for you. Jump in there, man.
We'll see.
Give it a shot.
We'll see.
Why not?
We'll see.
What can happen?
Live on Lake Street, man. Thank you, brother. I
Man,
appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man. Another episode of Live on Lake Street. I'm Jake Faircloth. Follow me everywhere at Jake Faircloth1.
Damn, Woody. In high school, I let it blam, Woody. I wasn't playing, Woody. I'm coming straight out the south. Hey, genius, best watch your mouth. When I put up on P&B right, then ain't he come out. You moving ounces, I just moved 100 things in a drought. You want the south side, outside the fence of your house. You talking all that, then wanna come talk it out. If you ain't talking money, you talking about.
Transcendent and different.
Exactly.
So, I'd say 808s is probably the most transcendent, maybe the most transcendent album of all time. It literally changed everything.
Hip hop.
Everything.
Yeah.
Not even just hip hop. He changed everything.
Yeah.
That's when rappers started to sing.
Yeah.
All of them started.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we can do this,
Yeah.
even if it sounds like shit.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
With the tune.
Yeah.
I dibble dabbled in that this time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
try to stay away from it, but you
Yeah.
know, I needed it.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
And nowadays you got the tools to make it work. So
Right.
it works. Okay, you ready?
Let's do
Another
it.
episode of Live on Lake Street.
I don't know how to say it. Say it.